Okay, let's dive into this. We see flaxseed everywhere, right? It's hailed as a superfood, but can this tiny little seed actually stand up to one of our biggest modern health challenges, type 2 diabetes? We're going to forget the hype and go straight to the clinical science to find out what it really says.
You know, it's such an interesting matchup. On one side, you've got this ancient crop that people have been using for thousands of years. Its scientific name literally means the most useful. And on the other side, a truly modern epidemic, type 2 diabetes, which affects millions and millions of people all over the world.
And that really brings us to the core question here. It feels almost too simple, doesn't it? Could something you just have in your pantry actually make a real difference in a complex metabolic disease? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Let's follow the evidence.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the seed's promise. Then we'll peek at the science inside it and see how it held up in clinical tests. After that, we'll decode those results, get the broader scientific view, and wrap it all up with the key things you need to know.
First up, an ancient seed's promise. I mean, flax has been a part of our diets for centuries, but it's only in recent years that it's really been put under the scientific microscope to see if all those health claims hold up.
And just so we're all on the same page, what we're talking about with type 2 diabetes is a condition where your body just can't regulate blood sugar the way it's supposed to. This is usually because of something called insulin resistance. Think of it like this. Your body's cells have kind of stopped listening to insulin's signal to take in sugar from your blood, and that's the fundamental problem we're looking at.
So if the goal is to get a handle on blood sugar, what's actually in these tiny seeds that made researchers think, hey, maybe this could help? Let's unpack the science.
Well, it turns out flaxseed has this really unique team of 4 powerhouse components. You've got ALA, which is a fantastic anti-inflammatory omega-3. Then you've got these things called lignans, which are antioxidants. And crucially, it's packed with dietary fiber, which is known to slow down how quickly sugar gets into your bloodstream. And on top of all that, it's got great plant protein. It's this nutritional cocktail that got scientists so interested. And just look at this breakdown. This is for just 1 tablespoon. The amount of healthy fat, and especially fiber, is really impressive for something so small. That fiber content is a huge piece of the puzzle for how flaxseed might help with blood sugar.
Okay, so that's the theory, but here's the billion-dollar question. Does it actually work in real people? To find out, researchers set up some key studies, and we're going to zone in on 2 of them that came at the question from slightly different angles.
So let's look at this tale of 2 studies. The one in Raipur, India, had patients simply add roasted flaxseed to their regular diet. But in Cairo, Egypt, researchers baked a larger dose into food and, importantly, they had a control group for comparison. Both were trying to see what kind of real-world impact they could find. And now, for the really exciting part, let's decode the results. What did these clinical trials actually uncover? Let's get into the numbers.
Whoa. Okay, this first result from the Raipur study is pretty stunning. After just 3 months of adding roasted flaxseed to their diet, more than half the patients, 57%, managed to get their blood sugar levels into the normal range. That is a really significant finding.
And if we dig a little deeper into that same study, researchers noticed that age seemed to matter. While pretty much everyone saw benefits, a higher percentage of the younger participants, those between 25 and 45, showed positive results compared to the older group. Interesting stuff. Now let's hop over to the Cairo study. The results here are just as compelling, especially when you see them next to the control group. I mean, look at the difference in fasting glucose, 127 versus 227. Cholesterol took a similar nosedive. And get this, the flaxseed group even saw a major drop in BMI. That's body mass index, shifting on average from the obese range down to the normal weight range. The difference is night and day.
Okay, those results are really compelling. But remember, that's just 2 studies. So what happens when we zoom out and look at all the research combined? To be really confident, we need to see that bigger scientific picture.
So this is the crucial question, right? Are these amazing findings just a fluke, or do they point to a real, consistent effect? To figure that out, scientists do something called a meta-analysis, where they basically pool all the high-quality studies together to get one powerful result.
And this is what they found. A huge meta-analysis in 2018, which looked at 25 different trials, came to a super specific conclusion. It found that whole flaxseed, so ground or whole seeds, had a significant positive effect. But, and this is so important, supplements of just the oil or just those lignin extracts did not have the same benefit. It seems the whole food, with all its parts working together as a team, is what really does the trick.
And this brings up a really important point about how science works. As our source material from nutritionfacts.org points out, sometimes early studies can be small or not as tightly controlled. And that is exactly why looking at these big meta-analyses is so valuable. It helps sort the real signal from all the background noise and gives us a much more reliable answer.
Okay, we've looked at the theory, the individual studies, and the big picture analysis, so now for the most important part. What are the practical key takeaways from all of this for you?
So, if you're thinking about flaxseed, the science points to a few key things. First, the form really matters. Stick with whole or ground seeds, not just the oil. Second, the dose that seemed to work was usually around 2 to 3 tablespoons a day. Third, you got to be consistent. The benefits really started showing up in studies that lasted 12 weeks or more. And this is the most important one. Please talk to your doctor, because flaxseed can interact with certain medications. Oh, and finally, it's generally not recommended during pregnancy.
All of this leaves us with a really fascinating thought. Now, flaxseed is obviously not some kind of magic bullet, but the rigorous science behind it really makes you wonder, could some of the most powerful tools for managing our health be hiding in plain sight, right there in our own pantries? It's definitely some food for thought.